Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Now, I was just chatting to a few friends on Discord, and we were just discussing some of the bad things of doing FBA, and I thought, hey, that'd be a good video to do because everyone talks about how great Amazon FBA is, and don't get me wrong, it is fantastic. However, like everything in life, there's always the good sides and the downsides. And I thought I'd just talk about some of the sort of the bad things, the downsides, some of the lesser talked about things about Amazon FBA. Without further ado, let's get into it. So let me have a look at my notes here. So one of the most annoying things, I suppose, with Amazon is the customer returns. Now, Amazon's great for consumers. I'm sure anyone who shopped on Amazon knows they have great customer service, great return policies. Now, unfortunately, that then applies to any Amazon seller, and that includes you if you're selling on Amazon. So Amazon will basically accept a return for nearly anything, and once you've done this long enough, you'll end up getting sort of broken. Sometimes people return things that are still sealed, and that's fantastic, no problem there. They just change their mind. But a lot of times they'll use the product, they'll damage it. Sometimes you'll even get people who will return just a totally wrong item. And unfortunately, with things like customer damage and used items, there's nothing you can do basically. Amazon will not reimburse you, and you basically have to suck it up and sell it on eBay or sell it as used on Amazon. When it comes to customers sending you the wrong item back, that's great actually because you can get a refund from Amazon. You have to open a case and do that. But obviously that's extra headache for you basically, and it just takes time to to deal with all the stuff. And you can see over here, this is an entire shelf of returns that I've just not even gone through. We've got gaming headsets, we've got breast pumps there that have been used. We've got used toothbrushes back there. We've got hair dryers. We've got there's a Nintendo Switch there. There's a laptop in there somewhere. There's a hose down there you can't see. There's all this kind of crap that gets returned, and it just takes. It's a lot of effort to go through it basically and get it graded and resold. So that's one of the biggest annoyances. Now there's a great thing on Amazon where you can do a grade and resell. And I actually hadn't turned this on for a long time, but essentially what it'll do is when a customer returns an item, Amazon customer service or the people in the warehouse will grade and resell it for you, and they'll sell it as like used like new or used good, used average, whatever they grade it as. So that's great. The only problem is if a customer says it's faulty, and oftentimes a lot of customers say things are faulty because they think they're going to get a free return with it. Amazon will not regrade the item, and a lot of people say items are faulty and then they return it back and it's still sealed in the box. But Amazon will not resell that for you. They won't grade it. It'll just come back to you basically. Then you have to send it back in, even if it's brand new sealed still. If a customer marks it as faulty, then that's tough luck basically. So coming on to Amazon returning things to you, Amazon, once a customer returns items to the warehouse, to Amazon's warehouse, Amazon will then return the item to you. Oftentimes they will just stick a label on the box and send it to you, like what happened with a few of my items down there, that side, the hose and things like that. And they essentially take what is an item that would be in okay condition, and the box gets absolutely trashed. It's got labels stuck on it. UPS or whoever the delivery company is don't take good care of it, and Amazon basically don't take very good care of your products when they return them. And the same happens whenever you recall items from the warehouse. Let's say you can't sell them anymore. They're still in brand new condition, but by the time they get back to you, oftentimes they're trashed basically, or not in as new condition, I'd say. Now you can kind of fight Amazon on these a little bit, but it's a lot of effort. But yeah, Amazon don't take very good care of your products basically when it's not being sold to the end customer. Another one is IP complaints, so intellectual property complaints. This one is rather annoying. Essentially what this is where a brand does not like you selling their products on Amazon, and they'll hit you with an IP complaint. Sometimes they do IP complaints. Sometimes they'll do something what's called a fraudulent, a counterfeit claim without purchase, which I think is a disgrace that they can do that actually. But they can essentially say to Amazon, this is counterfeit. We've not actually bought it, but we're saying it's counterfeit basically. Then they can do things like a buy and say it's counterfeit. I've had that a few times where one brand did not want me to sell. They gave me a counterfeit without purchase claim. I appealed it. It got rejected by Amazon. So they approved my appeal. So I was selling it again. Then the brand bought the item from me and then did a counterfeit, with purchase claim. Again, I just sent all the invoices in, proving they were real. Amazon sided with me, but it was clear that brand wasn't going to be giving up on it. So just sold through the stock, and I won't sell that brand again. So that's the best thing. Oh, it's now raining. Raining inside on me. So yeah, that's the best thing really, is just don't sell the brands that have IP complaints. If you get hit with an IP complaint, it's a pain really. You have to prove you have to send invoices and stuff like that, but it's a pain. Best thing is just to avoid those brands overall. There's plenty of brands out there and plenty of stock that you don't need to worry about one or two brands. So the other thing that no one talks about really, everyone says, oh, Amazon's so easy, FBA, you just send it into Amazon, they deal with it all. And that's true, but you have to prep the items first. And prepping actually takes way longer than you think. Let's say you're buying 10 creams, for example, that you're going to sell on Amazon, like a facial cream. They might get delivered to your home. First, you have to store them on a shelf somewhere, so you need extra space. And another thing as well, if you're doing this at home, it takes up a lot of space. The stock does. Then when it comes to prepping it, you have to, if it's like, sometimes you have to label things. Oftentimes, you always have to label things. I recommend you do. But if it's something like a beauty product or something that has like an expiry date and stuff, you always have to put like your own SKU label on there. So you've got to label them. If it's like a liquid or a cream, for example, and it's not in a box and it's not bagged already or sealed, then you have to polybag it. Sometimes things have to be bubble wrapped. Sometimes things have to be bubble wrapped and boxed. Not too often, but the point is that there is always some prep to do for products, and generally the absolute bare minimum is to label the products with your own SKU labels. Is generally the absolute bare minimum. Oftentimes though, you have to use poly bags and things like that. So prepping actually takes a long time, and that's why I use a prep center now basically. So I send all my stuff to them. I pay 70 pence an item, and they prep the items for me. It's expensive, to be honest, but it saves me getting the stuff delivered here, and but yeah, that does take time. You have to learn how to do it. Sometimes you'll be making a box up, and the Amazon software is rubbish. So you'll be building a box together of say 10 or 15 different items. You'll come to you go through the whole step-by-step process on Amazon. You'll come to oh, I've put these in a box, I've taped it all up. Let's get the shipping label, and Amazon will say, hang on, no, you can't send this item with this item. So you need to unpack the box again, take out the item that they don't like. Generally, you can't mix hazmat with normal products, basically. That's what it is. And then you also can't mix oversized items with normal size items. This is one of the things you learn as you go, but Amazon don't make it easy. You kind of find out at the last step once you've built the box out. So yeah, prepping takes time basically, and it takes space as well. So that's another thing people don't talk about, but it's extra work basically. So yeah, those are kind of sort of the 4 or 5 main things that I think are the downsides, the bad things, not the bad things, but the hassles and the things that no one really talks about when it comes to doing Amazon. I'm sure there's a bunch of others that I can't think about. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about some good things anyway. It's not a negative video, it's a positive video. Let's try and, just trying to give a reality check to everyone when it comes to selling on Amazon. It's great, but there are some downsides. But some of the good things are you don't have to find customers. Just think about this. You have a business, okay, that has no limit to how much stuff you can sell. And unlike if you create your own store, you do not have to find customers. They are already there, basically. Amazon has found them all for you. So it's just up to you now to send all the products into Amazon. And there is no limit. You will never outgrow Amazon. There are stores out there, American stores. Some of the biggest American stores do $1 billion on Amazon. And that's just one store, and they do $1 billion in revenue. So you are never going to outgrow Amazon. So just think about that, what a great opportunity that is. And the other good thing as well, my last sort of good point, I've got loads of good things about Amazon, but I don't want to make the video go on too long. The other thing is that not only does Amazon find these customers for you, these customers, they pay a premium for the products. They all have Amazon Prime, and they want the products next day delivery, and they're willing to pay a premium for that convenience. So sorry if I keep looking over here. But yeah, so you got loads of customers. You don't have to find the customers, and they pay an absolute premium. So what a great opportunity Amazon is, basically. And you can, all these kind of like negative things of Amazon, you can work through them. So for example, prep, you can get a prep center. IP complaints, you can just avoid those IP brands. Amazon returning to you, I mean, you just have to kind of suck it up and, you know, just deal with it. You can liquidate your products if you want, but you get sort of like 5 to 10% of the retail value back. So, but you don't have to deal with them, so you can do that as well. So there are ways to mitigate the bad things, but you know, anyway. So I hope that was a good video for you guys. Yeah, and hope you enjoyed it. And I say, what for the worst thing for me, I've told plenty of people online about this. The worst return I've had was I sold an £800 drone, which is like $1,100, and the guy crashed it and returned it all crashed and trashed basically. And unfortunately, Amazon just say nothing they can do. It's customer damage. So I had to sell that as for parts on eBay. Fortunately, I got it for a great price. So actually, I think I broke even or made a little bit of money on it. But yeah, there's nothing you can do really. You just got to suck it up. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.